Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Charles Wallace Jr. out in Philly. Thanks for stepping in last night on the other NGBN.TV show I work on. Decades. You did a great job. My name is Chris Rubio, host of The Rubio Method. Welcome, Nick Monaghan. Nick, no big title today. We have a phenomenal show with a great guest, Joe Wall. This is episode 35 of The Rubio Method. Keep doing a great job of supporting us and sharing us on Spotify, Amazon, Google, YouTube. Did I already say Amazon? I did say Amazon. And of course, the NGBN.TV network. And if you have any questions, feel free to email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. What's in store today? Healthy grocery shopping. That's got to be a Monahan thing. Public phone calls, holiday foods, our faces, concerts, Minneapolis, cybersecurity, having a stroke at 35. Jesus. Being fearless, all of that and much more on today's episode of The Rubio Method. Christian, I'm out. Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Maddie Calkins, with your fantastic, cute little baby Blaze. You seriously, everyone should follow this girl on Facebook just to see her cute kid Blaze. What is up, Calkins family out there in, I think, Southern Idaho? Welcome back to the Rubio Method. Monahan, I haven't seen you in a while. How was your Father's Day? Because this was like your real first Father's Day. You had one before, but kid was kind of just drooling on himself. How was this Father's Day?
Yeah, this one was awesome. It was actually, you're right. I remember when we first had Jet and you were saying, yeah, the first few months, like it's literally like a doll. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't talk. Yeah, it's the worst. But this year, we actually played golf together. We brought him onto the course and he was just being silly. It was so much fun. It was an awesome day. Did you have a great Father's Day?
I did. It was fun. My kids are all over the country, so it was a little bit harder because they're in college and things like that. But I had Damon Dale with me, and it was a good time. Monahan, what do we got for your minute with Monahan?
Love it. All right, let's dive on in. So today we've got the minute with Monahan. We got 3 steps to healthier grocery shopping. These are steps that I need to take myself, but these 3 steps will help you out. First and foremost is have a plan. Come up with a list when you go grocery shopping. I don't know how you are, Rubio, but if you go to the grocery store, my eyes start to wander to the worst sections. So having a list and knowing exactly what you need is the best. That way you're not browsing and getting stuff that maybe isn't quite as healthy for you. Number 2 is to also know exactly where you're trying to be and where everything's at. So try and have a plan as to where you're going to go, what aisles you'd like to go to. This obviously takes time. You have to be at a place before. But knowing where you're going, having a plan of where to go helps you avoid those not so great sections. And then last but not least is go on a full stomach, right? You probably have heard this before, but when you're hungry, you're like, that sounds good, that sounds good, that sounds good. Go with the full stomach, and then you'll have healthier choices at the grocery store.
So basically, if I was going hungry on a whim in a grocery store that I was not familiar with, that would be the worst possible case scenario.
Those cookies are jumping right out at you.
I'm all over the place. And I'm the guy who, when I see like a cookies or a drink or something like that, I'm eating it before I get to the register.
Oh, yeah. Mandatory.
And I don't even care.
Yeah, sorry.
Monahan, those are very good. I like that. Let's go to our website questions because I see we have 3 fantastic ones.
Yeah, these are good. Our fans, they're really bringing the heat when it comes to questions, and I, for one, am a fan of it. First question comes from Philip in Tampa, Florida. Rubio, I thought we weren't going to talk about Tampa, Florida. Philip asks, what are your thoughts on people that have conversations on the speakerphone in public? Rubio, I think you know this about me. If you're FaceTiming in public, if you're at an airport and, Joe Schmo is hollering on the other line and I can hear it and I know exactly what your weekend plans are, I'm absolutely out. I mentally am cussing you out. I'm over it. I'm upset. I absolutely hate it. I feel like that's the number 1 sin you could do in life is talk on speakerphone in a public setting. What about you, Rubio?
Well, that's pretty aggressive that just jumped above murder for you, but that's a whole other issue. You know me. I'm at the age right now where I'm looking at people that are on speakerphone with FaceTime and all that. Now, either you are ignorant because you just don't know that it's stupid, or you're rude. You have to choose one of those two. That's number one. So I'm completely out, and I'm to the age now where I will go and stand next to them and just kind of like lean into their conversation because if you're going to be this dumb, I'm going to treat you like you're this dumb. On that note, as opposed I am to FaceTime in public, I did see something this past Saturday night that kind of warmed my heart, and someone was FaceTiming in public. I was at a concert, Little Big Town, George Strait and Chris Stapleton, no big deal. We'll talk about it later. Um, and she's probably 30 years old, was FaceTiming her grandmother,
Oh,
showing her the concert. And I thought that was kind of cool because you couldn't hear the grandma. I'm not even sure she knew what was happening. She was an older lady. I mean, really old. And it was kind of heartwarming. So I gave that lady a pass. Plus, I couldn't hear the grandma talking. So that's good. So, Monahan, number two.
that's a great story. That's the past. That one we'll let it slide.
Yeah, we'll let that one slide.
That's right, this one time. This comes from Teresa in Seattle. Says, "What is your favorite holiday meal?" Rubio, I'm gonna let you attack that one first.
I feel like we've answered this before, but I'm going to answer it again. Turkey is the worst. So I'm jumping that to the absolute lowest form of human food. That is trash. And Monahan, don't even argue with me because if you thought it was good, you would order it more. You never go to a restaurant and let's have a big turkey meal. No, because it's trash. It's not good. It's not flavorful. Christian right now is yelling at me. It's trash, Christian. You've never ordered it at a restaurant, and if you say you have, you're lying. So that's number one. My favorite holiday meal is my wife makes this like Italian sausage roll that kind of looks like the movie Aliens when it came out of the stomach, and it's like an embryo slash. I mean, it's this most disgusting thing to see looking, but oh my God, I would punch a puppy to eat it every day and not gain weight. Monahan, what's your favorite holiday meal?
Wow. Okay, so this is we got a controversy on our hands.
No, I'll argue with you all day long, and you and Christian. I don't care. It's trash.
I was literally gonna say turkey, stuffing, and mashed potatoes. Throw it down the middle in my face every single holiday. I want it. I want the leftovers. I want to have it for the rest of the week. Oh, Rubio, I'm so surprised at you right now.
And how often do you eat it the rest of the year?
Oh, well, okay, so there is a sandwich place in Colorado, and it's called Yampa Sandwich Co., and they have it's called the Pilgrim, and it's a Thanksgiving dinner in a sandwich. I try and get it as much as possible.
And it's so good that you just moved 2,000 miles away.
That damn sandwich was getting me out of there.
Nice defense of your case there, Monahan. What's the third question?
Third question. Anonymous. Okay, so they don't want to be known. Hey, I'm with it. From California. Side note, this morning I saw a picture of a rental car in Colorado, and it had California plates, and it said, this is a rental car. I'm not from California.
You see those a lot. You see those a lot in Idaho. A lot.
Yeah, I was crying, so I had to end that. The question says, I know this might come up as weird, but I've noticed you both have a decent skin for guys. And I was wondering if you could do anything special for your faces. Let's see. I don't do anything special. My wife actually washed my face with a rag yesterday for probably the first time. I wear a helmet when I ride my motorcycle and I sweat and all that. So I actually don't do a thing for my facial. What about you, Rubio?
Hold on, Monahan. Why was your wife using a rag to wash your face? Were you paralyzed from the neck down?
No, we were laying down watching a movie, and she was like, "Your face is like needs to get cleaned right now." And so she literally got up, took a rag, and started wiping it down. I was like, "Oh, all right, we'll keep it moving."
Well, okay, King Sheba or whatever. That's good for you. God love you.
Yeah.
Okay, my wife's gonna kill me for this because she yells at me all the time about it. I let water run over my face in the shower, and that's literally it. I have a full-on conspiracy theory about it. I haven't washed my face since, I'm not even joking, since Reagan was president. I haven't put soap on it. I'm telling you right now. And if you see, I mean, I even when I shave, I use just conditioner from Costco. So it's like I just throw it on there, and it's obviously starts here and just all hell breaks loose. But it's one of those things that no, I have not washed my face. So do I put any product on it? No, water. That's all I do. That's all I'm going to say about that. We've got two more segments. We've got the interview with the great Joe Wall, and then we've got the bottom line segment. On that note, Christian, I'm out.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Ian Hill, creator of NGBN.TV. Congratulations on your commitment to Antelope Valley College. We're all very, very proud of you. Welcome back to the Rubio Method. This is episode 35. My name is Chris Rubio. You can email us, rubio@therubiomethod.com anytime you'd like, and also keep doing a great job of sharing on the NGBN.TV network, the RubioMethod.com, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and of course Amazon. We have a great guest. Welcome, Joe Wall. What's up, my man?
Hello, Rubio. How's it going?
Fantastic. Where's Joe Wall right now?
London, England right now.
London, England.
Yeah.
Terrible food. Not good food. We won't talk about it.
Yeah, no, there's nothing to talk about food wise.
It's really bad.
Fish and chips.
When ketchup is the spiciest thing on the menu, that's number one. And number two, give me some ice in my drinks every time. Well, you got me fired up. Who is Joe Wall? Joe Wall is the vice president, risk partners at the Lookout Corporation. He went to Winona State University, Minneapolis, Minnesota resident, and he's a world traveler, obviously. Welcome, Joe. I've got three quick hitters for you. Number one, what is the best concert you've ever been to?
Best concert, Michael Jackson.
Jesus, you saw Michael Jackson where, when? I need details now.
Bloomington, Minnesota, Bad Tour.
Wow. So this is like what, 80s?
That would have been like 90, let's call it 91.
How good was he? How long did he play?
He was the king. He's the king of pop. He was amazing. Great show. Played for a couple hours. Outstanding.
I'm just dumbfounded because I don't think I've ever even met someone that has been to a Michael Jackson concert, and that's one of those that I'm literally pissed that he died. I mean, yes, I'm sorry you died, but I'm more pissed that I didn't get to see you. So
no doubt about it.
Wow. All right, let's try to break this here. Number two. You grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, that was a nightmare because in the summer it's humid with mosquitoes and it's hot, and in the winter it's oh my God cold. Is it as big a nightmare as I think it is?
It can be. Summers are amazing. Summers are beautiful. But once winter rolls around, we have a stretch in January where it can get really, really cold and below zero, and those aren't fun days.
And you guys just know, just batten down the hatches. We're going to be miserable for 30 days.
Yeah, it's coming, so you can plan travel accordingly, or you can do certain things to get away from the bad weather.
You go to London, England, get the hell out of Minnesota, whatever.
Yeah, typically Florida, Arizona. Yeah,
I happen to schedule some business trips in Miami, South Beach. Here I come.
No doubt about it.
Okay, last question. Being from Minnesota. Why was Prince, the musician, so great?
I would say, number one, he plays every instrument. Number one, he musical genius, just a great hometown story. I mean, he produced a lot of different music for a lot of different artists that people aren't aware of. He was absolutely phenomenal.
Very teeny tiny man too.
Yeah. Short guy. He liked to hoop though. He could shoot.
I heard he was very, very into ping pong.
He was into ping pong. He was into basketball, believe it or not. Really liked to shoot hoops.
Christian, while we're talking, you got to look up how tall Prince was, because I'm thinking he's got to be 5'6", 5'7" at max.
Yeah, but then you add the heels, Rubio, and it's a whole nother factor.
So he gets to 5'8", 5'9".
Right.
All right, Joe, you and I met when I spoke at the Lookout Corporation. Joe, oh, hold on. Before we can get to that, Christian says he's
Yeah.
5'3".
Yeah.
Wow. That's like a child. Okay.
He-
Anyway, back to
he-
what I was
he
talking
looked-
about. You and I met when I spoke at the Lookout Corporation in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
I was blown away just listening to the other speakers and then talking to you guys before and after. I want you to tell everyone what you do, what your corporation is all about, because it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah. So Lookout is a mobile security company. So, think about, iPhones and Androids that, we use every day. We secure those devices from phishing attacks, from malware, from, really sophisticated nation state attacks. So it's really rewarding. And
Okay, now, is
exciting
this
work.
something that like just the government and big business needs, or is it something like your average Joe Rubio needs?
Yeah, it's something, the average Rubio definitely needs. I mean, because you're thinking about, we're all familiar with phishing. You've seen the text come across, you've seen emails come across. Over 90% of all attacks start with a phishing component. Then you add on, insurance companies have paid out over 76% of their cyber insurance claims have come from a phishing attack. Excuse me. And we've trained people, we've put software on laptops, on desktops, but yet these attacks still continue to happen, and they're happening at the mobile device. And that's what we prevent, and that's the work we do.
Okay, explain it to me like I'm talking to my father-in-law, who's not very computer savvy, we'll say the least. All right.
Sure.
So what do you mean by phishing? And we're not saying phishing, we're saying PHI, and it's
Yeah.
one of those, like, give me an example of my father-in-law gets a text that says, "Hey, your Amazon account has been hacked." Something like
Yeah.
that, or give me some examples.
Yeah, that's an example. You'll also see an example of, hey, this is your friend, and it'll look like it's coming from your friend, when in reality it's coming from a bad guy, and having you please send money to this location because I'm stuck here. But they've gotten real sophisticated to where it sounds like this is my friend, and this is, who I know very well, that you'd actually, bite on it and maybe send some money or say, yes, this is me, and things start to escalate from there.
Okay, so will it say like, this is, hey, this is Joe Wall in London, Rubio, send me some money, or and will it'll go to that extent?
It will go to that extent. Like they've, through AI and machine learning that the bad guys are using, they can send you a note and say, hey, Rubio, Joe Wall here, having a great time in London, but I'm stuck here on the train and lost my wallet and blah 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 blah. Could you Venmo me some bread, that type of thing.
So how is someone supposed to know what's real and fake? I mean, Jesus, that's frightening.
It is, and unfortunately, we use the AI and ML on our end to, we see these attacks every day. We have the largest data set of these type of attacks, to where we're able to quickly decipher what's real and what's not. There's certain things that stick out over time as we've seen this happen, and we're allowed to, we're able to prevent that.
So what would be your advice to people? Basically, if you see a text that even looks somewhat unfamiliar, I mean, you don't have to click on the link. Is it, if you start responding, does all hell start breaking loose then?
No, I mean, so you really want to have some sort of protection put in place on your device, to where it will just not allow that to happen in the first place. And with our application, you see the type of phishing attacks that target you, whether you're scrolling through Twitter and a website is trying to push something over to you. Those are the sort of things that we'll eliminate right up front. So yeah, if you're clicking on links, make sure that you know that that's exactly who the person's
Yeah. So if I get it,
intended for. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and let's
Like,
be honest, if I'm stuck in London on some tube or lube or whatever those trains are called, I'm
yeah,
probably not texting Joe Wall saying, "Hey man, I need some coin." I'm probably calling and saying, "Hey man, I'm stuck in this bad food area. Give me some money so I can get some McDonald's or something."
exactly. And working in this business, I get targeted a lot, and I've had someone that looked just like my friends, and I'll text, a quick thing back, and then um, I'll call them, and they won't answer, and they won't, call me back for a couple of days, and I knew that was a, attempted attack.
Good Lord, would you have any interesting stories on this, or I mean, are interesting / sad stories that you've heard?
Um, yeah, I mean, obviously there's multiple stories of different people that work at an organization that receive texts that look like they're coming from the company's CEO, and they're on business overseas, and they need to wire $75,000, $100,000 to close a particular deal that the CEO is actually going over there for, and money gets transferred. So it can get real nasty real quick, and the dollars start to add up.
Okay, before we move on, so that you just basically your company is an app that people download or they have to subscribe to?
It's an app on the phone, and then there's also a admin console behind the scenes that you can have a total view of all the devices in your environment.
Jesus.
And then we also have services where we have a threat intelligence team, an incident response team that can help people on an ongoing basis in organizations.
That is wild. Okay. Yeah. Lookout Corporation. Check out that. Let's move on here. You had a stroke at 35. What the hell? Tell me about that.
Definitely life-changing.
Yeah.
It was, 35 years old. I was at home, and I was going upstairs to go to bed. And next thing I know, I started sweating everywhere and was dizzy. And I kind of made my way up the stairs and got to my wife and said, "Look, you're gonna have to take me to the ER. Something's not right here." So she took me to the ER, and they quickly identified that I was having a stroke, and by ambulance took me to a hospital in downtown Minneapolis. Spent 12 days in the hospital. It ended up being something called a cavernous angioma. So it was a blood vessel in my brain that burst, leaked blood. Real fluke sort of thing, but definitely life changing.
Okay. Were you unhealthy at this point? Because you're a healthy guy right now. I mean,
Yeah.
You're healthy. You were healthy or unhealthy?
No, I would say I was healthy, but very stress related sort of things that I would say would be the only thing that I could point to where something like that would happen.
Yeah. So did they say it was, like I think you said, it was a fluke, but was there any way you could have prevented it? I mean, because you're 35 years old. My God, you're a child.
Yeah, no way to prevent it. Totally genetics. When I was in the hospital, they kept asking me over and over again, like, what sort of drugs do you do? What sort of, like, are you on meth? Do you do this? Like, no, I don't. And so I said, look at my blood, because you're taking all my blood and you're doing all this sort of stuff. Like, quit asking me these questions. But it was a weird thing.
So how did they give you any tips for how to prevent it in the future? I mean, are you going to have another one? I mean, obviously you don't know, but
yeah, no. So after I had the stroke, I read a book called My Stroke of Insight, and it was by an author named Jill Bolte Taylor, and she was a neuroscientist that had a stroke and then wrote a memoir on her experiences. And it was very relatable to me. Here you had an actual brain doctor that had a stroke, and hers was a little bit different from mine. Hers was kind of left side of the brain that affected motor skills and that sort of thing. I didn't have any of the motor skill problems or language problems. I just had terrible headaches that I thought it was just a migraine at first. But in her book, Yeah, it started with headaches.
Okay.
And in her book, she talks about different techniques to kind of calm yourself and eliminate stress. And one of the things she uses is kind of right brain creativity sort of things of like drawing and different things that I've implemented. And it's what's interesting is, it's all about eliminating stress. And then I look at the type of work that I'm doing right now, and it's the same thing. I'm eliminating stress
Yeah.
for organizations, for individuals. But it was a, crooked path to get to this point.
So when this happened to you, were you bummed? I mean, I'm assuming you were scared to death, but were you bummed out? And how long was it? Did you go from, were you bummed out, number one? And then did you go to, holy crap, I got a second lease on life. Let's go full speed, damn it.
Yeah, no, you go through those range of emotions. Obviously, you're bummed out at first. Gosh, you almost die. And then you wake up and you go, I'm living my life different from this day forward. And I'm going to view things much, much differently than I did previously. And so that's the sort of thing that I've carried with moving forward from things that may stress others out. I look at a little bit differently, a lot differently in some cases. And just the ability to live life, to enjoy life, to not have fear, to
Yes.
to live your life.
I was going to say, because you have a quote, anything is possible. Keep plugging away and show up every day. Eventually you will become an expert in what you want to be. Be fearless. Yep. Is that how you got this attitude? I mean, did you have this attitude pre 34, 65 or whatever?
I thought I had some of it, but I really didn't. I wasn't living it like I am today. And I wasn't living it, prior to this experience. And it's, keep plugging away is something my father always used to say to me and say to my brothers and sisters. And it's something that stuck with me. And I firmly believe that, over time, if you keep plugging away, if you keep putting in the work, if you keep, to use a sports analogy, looking at the film in whatever industry you're in, reading LinkedIn articles, reading up on the competition, reading up on the industry as a whole and where it's going and what's new, and just immersing yourself in that is the key to success and the key to enjoying what you're doing. And you can't fake it.
I love that, Joe Wall. I was just going to ask you if you have any advice for middle-aged men through mental health challenges, but you kind of just stole my thunder. I mean, I don't know how you can add to that, but I love the keep plugging away. And I think in today's society, so many people are willing, they want so much instant gratification. And they don't get it instantly. It's like, oh, what do I do now? It's like, well, Jesus, you took one step, man.
Yeah, no, and communication's key. I mean, if you're struggling, if you have challenges, or if you need to communicate with others, you need to communicate with your friends and people you trust and your family, and let them know what you're going through. It's not easy, because everybody wants to solve their own problem and not involve others.
Joe Wall, this was fantastic. I knew you'd be great, but you were even better than I thought of. Where can people find out more about the Lookout Corporation? Where can people contact you if they want to?
Yeah. So obviously I'm available on LinkedIn. If anybody wants to reach out and connect, I'm always available to meet people that way. Our website is lookout.com, LOOKOUT.com.
Joe Wall, thank you very much. We're coming up for the final segment, the bottom line. That's all the stuff you should have learned without even realizing it. Christian, I'm out.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices.
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Sub 60 Ed. Keep dominating life. You're doing a great, great job on decades. Keep up the good work, my man. Welcome back to the Rubio Method. If you have any questions for myself, Monahan, or Joe Wall, you can email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. Keep doing a great job of sharing on the NGBN.TV network, therubiomethod.com, Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and of course, YouTube. All right, we're at the bottom line segment. Like I said before, this is the stuff that you should have learned without even realizing you learned it. Number one, don't be a hangry person. Remember, Monahan gave us those 3 tips. Have a plan, know what aisles you're going down, and remember, do not go shopping hungry. That's the worst one, but it's the best one too because you get all the good stuff. Monahan, you didn't hear that. So number 1, don't be a hangry person. Number 2, tech can be your friend or your foe, but no matter what, keep an eye on it. This goes back to the FaceTime public conversation question. Don't do that. Don't be that guy in public. But if you're sharing a video or a FaceTime with a grandma because you're at a George Strait concert, that's okay, as long as she's not yelling back during the intermission or whatever. All right. So number 2, tech can be your friend or foe, but no matter what, keep an eye on it. And number 3, a major setback can lead to a major step forward. This obviously pertains to Joe Wall having a stroke at 35. That is amazing. He could have been bummed out, and I'm sure he was for a little bit, but then he said, you know what? Every day I wake up on the right side of the dirt and I'm going full speed. And like what he said, keep plugging away, keep plugging away, keep plugging away, keep plugging away. And you're not going to get instant gratification at all times, but if you keep plugging away, it's going to work. So for number 3, a major setback can lead to a major step forward. This is a wrap for episode 35 of the Rubio Method. Remember, if you have any questions, email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. Christian, I'm out.